Radio Rahim with the man who needs no introduction, the lion of the corner, Buddy McGirt. I always love talking to you, man. Such a good time. You always got a smile on your face.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Well, you know, what brings this joy and this smile to Buddy McGirt's face every time?
Hey, man, listen, man. Life is beautiful, man. God is good, you know?
Yeah, all the time.
So you can't wake up mad. You got to wake up and deal with what you got to deal with and do it with a smile on your face. Because my mother used to always tell me, you smile, you make people wonder what you're up to.
Hey, that's right. And I asked you about it. I was wondering what you're up to. You know, well, I know what you're going to be up to on February 22nd. You got a busy night. We'll start at the top there with Callum Smith.
Yes.
You know, Callum has done a lot in the sport, but he feels like there's a lot more to do. And people are wondering if this is going to be the beginning of a new chapter or the end of it all. How do you see Callum Smith on the 22nd? What his prospects are for victory? Like, how good a shot is this, or how tough a fight is it?
Well, one, is going to be a tough fight. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But second, I see a different Callum Smith in camp this time. You know, the fire is back. The intensity's there. So he's back on track. And, you know, good Lord willing, we get this victory on Saturday night.
What was it like when he was off track? What did you see in there that would have been causing you concern if you saw it again?
I put it to you like this. When he fought Beterbiev, you know, everything was great. But then 3.5 weeks before the fight, he got a bruised rib. So he couldn't spar. But he didn't want to pull out the fight. Mm-hmm. So I think that, you know, just not being able to do what you love to do at 100%, it kind of takes the spark out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because before that, he had got injured. And the fight got postponed. It got postponed twice. Then Beterbiev got injured. I mean, then now we go ahead. Then he gets injured the third time, and he's like, you know what, Coach, I'm not pulling out. You know what I mean? We just hit the heavy bag in Mitch for the next 3.5 weeks, and we're going there. And you know, like, and a guy like Beterbiev, you're going into a war zone with only 6 bullets. You know what I mean? You need more than 6 bullets. You know what I mean? But you know, sometimes like they always say, you live and learn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, God had different plans then. And now I believe he's got better plans.
You know, any coach will tell me that boxing is at least 85% mental, if not more. How do you keep Callum positive, keep him focused on the win, and not feeling disappointment about the decisions in the past?
You know what's so funny is that when he called me to start camp, he was energetic. He was, like, excited, like, anxious to get back at it. You know what I mean? So when he called me, he FaceTimed me, and he called me on WhatsApp. And he was smiling. I said, what's up? He goes, all right, when you coming to Liverpool? But he said it with such energy that I felt it. I'm like, he's ready.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a coach, do you look at a guy like that and think to yourself, you know, if he's not ready, I'm not going to Liverpool. I got to tell him I don't see it or I don't hear it.
Oh, without a doubt. I do that. You know, I tell any fighter that I work with, if I ever hand you a cigar, that means the game is over. Yeah, I tell him, if I give you a cigar, that means that's it. And he, you know, he just, when I got to Liverpool and he sparred, I'm like, that's Callum. You know what I mean? That's Callum. He was injury-free, thank God, and so that's him. You know, he's back.
Buatsi is certainly going to be the favorite on this card, but nobody, I wouldn't say, is writing Smith off. Where do you see advantages for Smith against Buatsi?
I think experience-wise, fighting at this level. You know what I mean? You know, Callum's fought at this level quite a few times. And I just think that, you know, he's the better fighter.
If we're watching the fight, which I will be doing ringside, let's say I'm 2-3 rounds in. What do I need to see from Callum Smith to know, you know what, it's working? Buddy,
when he steps on the gas after the third, he's a slow starter. So if he steps on the gas, if he don't step on the gas after the third round, then he could be like, oh, shit. But if he steps on the gas, you'll be like, all right, he's in motion now.
Okay, now I don't know if you're going to have time to watch many fights. You got Zizo early in the night, and then you got to focus on Callum. But I'm going to take you kind of through this card because there's so many 50-50 fights on there. Okay. So many potential, you know, I don't even know if you can call them upsets, but so many potentials for people to steal the show, right?
And you're going to be surprised at my answers, but go ahead.
Okay, I just had Floyd Schofield here. We're going to see both him and Shakur Stevenson on a Riyadh season card for the first time come Saturday night. Who do you think wins this fight?
Shakur. He's just got too many guns for the. I don't know the other kid. I'm not knocking the other kid. You know what I mean? I respect him for taking the challenge, but I believe Shakur's at another level among, with these guys at 135 pounds. He's just different.
Opening the card, the pay-per-view side of it, is going to be Zhang and Kabiel. Big Bang has been what even Kabiel calls the monster thus far. Does Kabiel slay the monster?
Okay, I've never seen Kabiel fight. I don't know anything about Kabiel, so I can't even answer that question.
Well, let me just ask you this. What do you think of Big Bang Zhang and his potential for the heavyweight division?
Big Bang he's got the right name.
Yeah.
He's got the right name. That's all I can say. And he's got a hell of a trainer, Sean George. So I think Big Bang, if he does what if he listens to his trainer, he can handle his business.
Joseph Parker was just here. He was all smiles, so I wonder what he's up to. He's got a hell of a challenge, though, in Daniel Dubois, who kind of comes through here like a steam train, focused, doesn't really change his gaze from exactly where he's headed. That matchup, that has been much talked about. How do you see it?
Well, I've known Joseph Parker. I first met Joseph Parker when he was 17 years old in New Zealand. And I said, this kid is going to be a champion. And I think he's gonna beat Dubois.
How?
I'll box him.
Are you at all concerned about the power that Dubois brings, or the fact that he seems like he's just a steam train on a run?
Muhammad Ali used to say, right? Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Fair enough.
I mean, Parker can't stand in front of him. You know what I'm saying? He can't stand in front of him. He's got to, he's got to box him. He's got to get him into deep waters. Take him into deep waters and then drown him. But if he tries to stay in there early with him, then that's not a good move. He's got to outbox him.
On the top of the card, we've got a fight that, everybody thought if it was going to go Beterbiev's way the first time, it was going to go that way by knockout. However, Beterbiev won on the cards. Some people thought Bivol should have got the nod. How does it change? Or if it does change this time, what's the difference?
Well, I didn't see the first fight. That's why I said you're going to be surprised at my answer.
that was a surprising one.
I didn't see the first fight, so I really can't elaborate on it. But if I had to pick, I got to go with Bivol.
What edges it for Bivol for you?
A jab, man. When in doubt, hey, what does my shirt say? When in doubt,
stick it out.
No. Read the top.
When in doubt, stick it out.
Stick it out, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to make sure that the top is visible because this could be read a totally different way. You understand?
Hello. So I think he's just going to outbox him, but throw more punches. Make it be more convincing with his box. He can't stand in the trenches with him. He's got to box him.
Well, we'll go away from this Saturday night, but stay on Riyadh season. In September, I'm going to take you all the way to the fall months because a man has dared to be great in Terrence Crawford. We expect to see him against Canelo come September. It's a lot of weight he's giving away, or we expect him to be giving away. Do you think that gives the fight away?
I'm going with Crawford. If he doesn't come in too heavy.
If Crawford doesn't come in too heavy.
You got to understand. Say he comes in at 168, right? Yeah. Just say he weighs 168. Fight night, he's going to be how much? 178? Is his body used to carrying that weight for 12 rounds? Being effective. So, people always think bigger is better. I don't think bigger is better. You know what I'm saying? But I think that if Crawford came in the low 60s, he beats him.
Okay, that's interesting. He needs to make sure he is not too heavy.
Not too big, because if he's big, it's muscle mass. Right. You know what I'm saying? And your body's not used to carrying that muscle mass for 12 rounds, 10 or 12 rounds. But if you're good at 160, 62, 63, he can get in there and he can pull the upset.
Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna put a bit of distance between what's happening now and what could potentially happen in the future. Right? We know that Parker and Dubois are potentially both vying for an undisputed shot. You got Parker coming through against Dubois. Can he also beat Usyk?
If there's anyone to beat Usyk, it'll be Parker.
Okay. All right. I got one more for you because, you're an American, so I can talk to you about Tank Davis.
Right.
He's coming up right on the heels of this fight. The next week we'll see him in Brooklyn against Roach. who are you picking in that fight? But then who do you want to see him fight after that fight?
Well, I think that I've never seen Roach fight, so I can't really elaborate on that. I hear he's a good fighter. I know he's got a good team with him. I know he's got a good trainer. I know that, he's coming ready. So I really can't pick a winner in that, you know what I mean? Because I've never seen him fight. So I don't want to say this guy, that guy, no. But the fight I would like to see, which I believe belongs in Madison Square Garden, not the Barclays, not Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, Madison Square Garden. Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Madison Square Garden.
There we go. That's your dream fight for 25.
Listen, Shakur's from Newark, New Jersey. Tank Davis from Baltimore. It's got to be in New York at the Garden, not at the Barclays. Look, Floyd Mayweather said it best. You never fought unless you fought in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. Anthony Joshua, we expect to be ringside. He's kind of laying out, looking at his options. What do you think is the best path for him moving forward?
I'm going to say this, and I've said it for the last few years. Joshua just needs to make very little changes. Am I going to tell you the changes? No. But very little changes. If he makes those changes, he can be heavyweight champion of the world again.
Have you reached out to Joshua and be like, I got the solution?
Listen, I'm an old school guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I sit and I watch, I look. I put it to you like this. A lot of these guys, I forgot what they haven't learned yet. You feel me? Yeah. Not knocking them. I'm not knocking them, you know what I'm saying, because they're doing a good job. But there's one little change he has to make. He makes that change to be heavyweight champion again.
You think we're going to see Fury in the ring ever again?
Eventually, because he's going to get bored. All he knows is boxing. So eventually.
Now, if he does, I know, we're just playing now. We got a little time on our hands, right? If he does, then Joshua's the most likely fight because that's the biggest money, and that's definitely happening in London. If Joshua doesn't ring you up and make that change, that little change, who wins that fight?
That's interesting. But I gotta go with Joshua.
Okay. I just heard Ngannou call out Wilder. There's a lot of speculation if Wilder's coming back at all. You think he had a fight lined up, then it's canceled. Do you think Wilder is coming back?
Honestly, I hear that he is. So, it's a dangerous fight. But I think if I had to pick, I gotta go with Joshua because he's got that right hand, the equalizer, man. He can punch, man. You know what I mean?
You mean Wilder, Joshua? If you're picking,
you said Wilder,
Ngannou,
right?
And you said you're picking Joshua.
No, I'm sorry, I messed up. I'm picking Wilder. My bad. I'm picking Wilder because he's got the equalizer. He hit you with that. You're not getting up.
You think he's got more in the tank? You think he should come back?
I don't think he should come back. Listen, what else has he got to prove? He's done it all, man. You know what I mean? He's financially set. He's got a beautiful family. He's with his family. I know it's hard to walk away from the game, especially when you're at the top and you've been there. But sometimes you got to say, you know what? I'm straight.
Well, you are always one of my favorite interviews. Don't ever walk away from the game. I'm going to be right there all the way to the last heartbeat. Like, what do you think about?
No problem at all, man.
Radio Rahim. Listen, Buddy McGirt, it's a pleasure. It's an honor, sir.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see you ringside Saturday night.
Thank you.